guys, happy Reading Rush Day 3. I have been working all morning. It's actually been a really busy week this week, but I finally have a little bit of downtime to work on a project that I am super excited for, so let me show you. This is my living room, and I have always had this really giant, like the biggest wall you can imagine right here, and I've never known what to do. And I was able to find these picture frames, which I love because they have like some of my favorite photos that kind of go in the middle there. But on the sides, my idea was to do ride photos from Disney World on each side. And originally, I even wanted to do just the whole wall with the attraction pictures or posters, whatever you want to call it. But I was able to, I've bought 4 of them to go on either side here. I think that's going to look really good. I'm afraid they're going to be slightly too small, but maybe eventually I could do like stacks of 4 on each wall. I don't know. We'll see. I'm excited to see how it turns out because a lot of the pictures in the center there are from my time at Disney. So I'll be excited to see how it turns out. Here they are all laid out. I got one for Splash Mountain because it is definitely, so my favorite Walt Disney World ride is the Haunted Mansion. It's like my favorite dark ride, is it a dark ride? I don't know, I might be making that up, but it is my all-time favorite ride. But if I had to pick like a runner-up, also. What are you doing, buddy? Are you being cute? What are you doing? Odin, what are you doing? You were just rolling around a second ago. Anyway, so my second favorite ride is Splash Mountain. And I know it's going away and they're changing it to be Tiana, which I'm sure they will do a fantastic... I know, I feel the same way. I feel the same way, buddy. I know that they'll do a fantastic job and I'm sure I will love it. But I have a lot of great memories on Splash Mountain. And it is definitely one of my all-time favorite rides. It's probably my favorite thrill ride, I could say. And then I got one for Small World and the People Mover, which is also just a really relaxing but also randomly fun ride. So I got one for almost all the areas. So we have Frontierland, Tomorrowland, Liberty Square, and Fantasyland. I did order a second Splash Mountain for my mom, but he accidentally forgot it and had already reached out to me to let me know and is sending me another print, which was really nice of him to make up for it. So I did get Big Thunder Mountain because that's also another one of my favorite rides. So I am missing Adventureland and Main Street, if you want to count it. But I'm really happy with these, so let's get them on the wall, right? What do you think, Odin? You want to get them on the wall? You do? You're going to come charging at me in a second. Okay, let's get them on the wall. What? I know, you want to go W-A-L-K. Just a minute, let me get these on the wall. Here is the finished look. I think it actually looks really good. I definitely could extend it and even build on it if I wanted to do more of a gallery wall. I don't know, what do you guys think? Let's get closer here. Splash and People Mover. Sorry for the glare. It's like prime sunlight time. Haunted, Small World. I think it looks really nice. I'm very happy with it. In other news, before I go get sweaty and walk out in, I did get a couple books in the mail from Amazon and I thought that we could look at them together and see what I got. Plus, I did start the Gilded Ones last night. I didn't get very far because I stayed up so late finishing Phoenix Unbound. The Gilded Ones is interesting so far. I'm curious where it's going to fall in YA. Is it going to be like trend towards like the younger audience or is it going to trend like a little bit older? I'm feeling right now it's trending a little bit young, but we'll see. I mean, I am 30, so slightly out of like the 16-year-old YA, but I'm curious to see where it falls on that spectrum. But it's really good so far. I am enjoying it. Let's look at what I got though. First of all, this is non-book related, but I've been dying to try these. They are they're true lemon. They're not lemonade, but it's crystallized lemon for water, tea, and recipes, I guess. But it's 0 calories, 0 sugar. It's unsweetened. I think it's literally just crystallized lemon. But I love lemon in my water. And I thought, because normally I drink it with Crystal Light, but sometimes I don't really want Crystal Light. I would rather just have plain water, but with like something in it. And I'm thinking I could drink more water if I just have this little true lemon, crystallized lemon. So we'll see. First of all, I got the third in this series for the, is it Lifelike series, I guess you want to call it. It is the final book in the trilogy by Jay Kristoff. I read the first two. It's been a while. I couldn't really tell you what's going on at this point. I've read so many other books, but I am looking forward to reading the ending of this. Jay also does something really great. Anytime he writes a book, he usually puts some sort of guide or synopsis of the previous books in the beginning. That is awesome. I wish more authors would do that because, frankly, I read so many books, I cannot remember what happened. So sometimes I need a reminder when there's a year in between series. I'm excited to finish this one. And then another book that I got is The Boundless, which this is the sequel to The Beholder. I read The Beholder last year and I was pleasantly surprised. Not many people talk about it, but I really enjoyed it. It definitely reminded me of like The Bachelorette, but in, I don't know, Europe. Because she travels on a boat to find a husband, essentially, so that she can continue running her kingdom. She has to get married. So she meets, I think it's 2 or 3 eligible bachelors from different kingdoms. And it's really interesting. I'm actually really excited to read. It's a duology, so I'm pretty sure this is the final book. Well, obviously, if it's a duology, it would be the final one, duh. But I don't think that there's a third one after this, so I'm really excited to see how it ends up. And this cover is so pretty. I am excited. And I might reread The Beholder because I don't really, well, I remember it, but I need some details. And I really enjoyed it enough that I really think I might reread that. So that's exciting. Oh, and I do wish, I am a little salty, I have the Fairyloot edition of The Beholder, and it is so pretty. And sometimes they will do one-offs of the sequels to the books that they give out, and I really wish that this would have been one of them because it was such a pretty cover and they had pink sprayed edges, and I would have just loved to see it. I would have been here all day for it. Would have bought the crap out of it. And then finally, I have been trying to read this for so long. So I read the first one and really enjoyed it, but it's A Heart So Fierce and Broken, which is the sequel to A Curse So Dark and Lonely. I picked it up on audiobook. For whatever reason, I just wasn't in the mood to listen to a book. No fault of this at all. I just wasn't in the mood for audio at the time. So it's been like just chilling on my TBR for a while. So I'm excited to hopefully just pick it up physically because I tend to read a little bit faster that way now. I used to listen to a lot more audiobooks because I drove quite a bit for work. My commutes were always really long, so I would prefer to listen to audiobooks versus the radio. But now I work from home. So I don't really have a commute. I have no like place to really listen and sometimes for my job, I have to really concentrate. So I can't listen to an audiobook as easily as I used to because I really have to focus on what I'm doing. So there's just not as much time for me to listen to something on audio. But anyway, that was a long-winded answer. This is my third and final book. So I'm excited. 3 new books and 3 that I really do want to read. I think I'll probably get to The Beholder sooner than any of these. Maybe A Heart So Fierce and Broken, but we'll see. So I'm going to take Odin for a walk and we'll check in with you guys in a little bit. guys know how I said that I felt like the Gilded Ones may be trending younger? I take that back. It got real intense real fast. I mean, I'm on page 40 and things are moving. Things have happened. Pretty violent things. I would say trigger warning for violence. I mean, maybe, I don't know. I was just very surprised at some of the violence that has happened. Whoa. But it's really good. I'm into it. Ooh. Am I right? Or is a grilled ham and cheese just one of life's simplest pleasures? New background, who dis? I am just at the house that I'm house sitting for. It is gorgeous. Obviously, this is a lake view. And just finished walking Sophie, the dog that I'm taking care of. But I wanted to talk for a second with this beautiful new view about the Gilded Ones that I'm reading. I am about 100 pages in, and it's really good so far. Basically, it's about a girl named Decca. She's 16 years old, and she's lived in this village her whole life. Her mother passed away, and she lives with her dad. Every year, the village, there's like a ritual that the entire empire goes through, but this village in particular, they basically, all the girls are bled to find out if they bleed red or if they bleed gold. If the girls bleed red, then they are considered pure. If they bleed gold, they are considered demonic. And basically killed on sight, sight unseen. They are killed. But here's the caveat. They don't know whether or not they bleed red or gold because the girls every year, they're kind of like, before they turn 16 for like a year or two, they're kept in like essentially a glass castle, so that they don't get cut, they don't get nicked, because their blood will be red for a little while. Like say if you fell, you would bleed red, but eventually it would turn gold if you have the demonic blood within your body. So there's no, like, I don't know how it happens. They've not really explained it yet. I think essentially they're like very, very distant ancestors of the Gilded Ones, who were like, there were 4 women that were demons. I don't know much about them, but they're somehow distantly related. So anyway, our main girl, Decca, she doesn't know. She is praying that she's pure, of course. She wants to live with her father. She wants to marry. She wants to have all of the rights that the pure are given. And she's just praying that she's pure. Well, the day of the what would you call it? Like purity contest. They have to go into the temple, and the priest will cut them to see what they bleed. And unfortunately, there's a big scene that happens where she's forced to kind of fight for her village, and reveals her true nature. She reveals that she would unfortunately bleed gold, which is not a spoiler. Like, obviously it's on the back of the book. So from there, it's really sad. It's actually heartbreaking what happens from there to her, within like what the villagers do to her, what her own father does to her. I mean, it is awful, actually. And from there, she does find out later on down the road, after a few months of some really terrible conditions, she finds out that there is a chance that she can, it's almost like Mulan-esque, she can go fight for the Empire. And after 20 years of service, they will deem her pure. So the Empire is in a war against what are called death shrieks, I believe is what they're called. And they're just demons of some sort. And they want to use the girls who have the demon blood. I think they're called Akia. I can't remember. I'll have to look back at it. They want to use them as soldiers in their war. So if they fight for 20 years, then they can be deemed pure and go back to their regular lives. So we do find out, though, that they're very hard. Like, these girls are very hard to kill. They can only die one of 3 ways. And it's a very interesting scenario with our Decca. So I'll just leave it at that. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. some cat purrs to make your day perfect. Ooh, did you hear that pun? Perfect. I didn't even mean to do it. Zuko, you're the sweetest boy in the world. Mostly. Except you're from the Fire Nation. But we love a Fire Nation boy. Well, friends, I just wanted to check in one more time to say good night. I haven't read any more since I checked in with you last, but I'm sure I'll read. My goal is to read like another 100 pages. This one reads really easily, so I should be able to hit that mark tonight and be around page 200. Also, side note, Odin decided sometimes he forgets how big he is, and he did a play bow with me on the couch and just right there snagged me in the face. Oh, the perks of having a giant dog. So anyway, good night, guys. I hope you guys had a fabulous day, and I will see you tomorrow.